Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jake, this is Nadia.
Yeah, and today we're talking about Conclave.
Yes, the return of the Queen. Finally. Speaking on behalf of myself and everyone on this, all of our viewers, thank God.
Oh my God.
Thank God you're back. I mean, I've just been going crazy, like sitting alone here talking about Craven. So
I have
thank you for
been
being
really
here.
enjoying watching the second channel just with you, though. I'm less critical about because I'm like judging myself when I review it or look back at it. So I'm like, oh, honey, you are great at reviewing.
Wow, that's very nice. I don't know how to feel about that.
By the way, before we start, my right eye is a little red. It's a growing problem with the baby punching me and stuff. Just kidding. No, I don't know why it's red, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
So tell me, how has your relationship to viewing art changed since becoming a mother? I've gotten questions about that, about being a dad, but I want to know, how has things changed for you?
When I see like something with kids, I'm definitely more sensitive to it now. It's interesting, just having a kid in general, you reminisce about your own childhood. And then so like in characters, I put myself in there a lot when it comes to kids or parenting. I'll see parents, actors playing parents, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, that's weird. Like you kind of take notes from like watching stuff, and I feel like I become just more sensitive overall.
I'm more judgmental when I watch movies with parents. I'm like, really? Okay.
You're gonna do that? No. I'm more.
Wait, where do we put him?
We lost him already?
He's probably fine.
What? We watched this film. We watched it separately.
We watched Conclave. Yeah, we watched it throughout the night, breastfeeding while you're breastfeeding, and I'm changing diapers. We're like separately watching it on our phones. Yeah, I'm curious. I still don't know what you think of this film. This is nominated for a ton of Oscars. Stars Ralph Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, directed by Edward Berger, who did All Quiet on the Western Front. This is like an awards darling, but people don't seem to think it's a favorite to win Best Picture. We can get into that. For whatever reason, my co-host on Sardonicast, Adam from YMS, hates this movie.
Wow.
He really hates it.
Wow.
Which is amusing to me because it seems like pretty much a crowd pleaser. So we'll get into all of that. But first, what did you think of Conclave?
Well, what I thought of this movie was I really liked it. And I was surprised because, this movie came out a while ago and you've been wanting to watch it. And I have been a little bit more hesitant because there are a lot of like Pope type movies, horror films, regular films, and they're all
Pope's Exorcist.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, not another Pope film or Pope related film. I've seen many
not
of those.
Yeah.
Such plots that I was okay without it. Well, I'm really glad because I can't go to theaters still yet. And then so Oscars coming, we decided to do this because it's been getting good reviews. And I will say that I haven't seen the reviews individually, but I agree that it should be nominated for multiple Oscars. And I was surprisingly very much of a fan of it. Now, I will say that the ending is a little bit like, oh, that was it? That was a big secret? Because I thought it was going to be something that was...
I thought it was going to be more of an explosive finale. Because I heard there was a huge twist. Anytime I heard people talk about it, I'm like, what do you think of that twist? And
I guess the twist isn't that big.
It didn't feel like a twist to me, really. It just felt like a reveal, like a little reveal.
A little reveal, but it wasn't something where I felt like, oh, had they known, I don't know, maybe, but they built it up so much, and the built up and everything, the storyline, the script, the writing, the acting was great, but I thought the ending was a little bit of a letdown. Not necessarily letdown, it's like, it makes sense, but I'm like, oh, that was it? Kind of like if you're sitting on a line for a roller coaster and then you're like nervous about it, and then you get on the roller coaster and you're like, that was it? That wasn't worth all the nervousness, So that's how I felt. Solid, I would give it 9 out of 10 because I really liked it otherwise. And the ending honestly doesn't get revealed until the very end. So it wasn't like something where it let down the whole movie at all. Sure. And the ending was fine. It's just the buildup was not equivalent to the reveal. Yeah. Okay. What did you think?
Well, I'm pretty close to where you are, I would say, but I would rate it lower.
Okay.
I'd give it maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10.
All right.
Probably 7. I mean, this is an entertaining movie. Like, first off,
Yeah.
I thought it would be a bit of a chore, watching it late in the middle of the night. We're sleep deprived, but no, it went fast. I was like, this is juicy. The popes,
it hooked me.
politics. I think that a lot of people were talking about it as a metaphor for the American election this year, since it came out on an election year, and it's very much about how do you vote, how do you allocate your votes towards which candidate, and it's very much about progressive and conservative ideals of where the church is heading, the church as an institution. It was very interesting from that perspective. I liked seeing the politics at play. That was just fun. I really enjoyed the character. I liked Cardinal Lawrence as a very centered, not super egotistical person, really trying to do justice here. And it felt like a detective story or like a whodunit in a lot of ways, which is maybe why I kind of expected there to be a big this cardinal killed the Pope, I thought it was kind of hinting at maybe there was going to be a big reveal like that, because I also heard people call it like an airport novel or something, because it was just, I thought it'd be more like Dan Brown, but what I discovered was a very quiet movie about faith and about honor and all of that. I really enjoyed the themes and how it kind of ended on like a quiet moment and an unexpected moment. We can talk about how well that works, but overall, I mean, it was just a really enjoyable ride. I don't feel compelled to watch it again because I feel like, yeah, that's that. I'm not super interested in the Pope stuff, but I found it really fun seeing like the realistic details of this is how they get their lunch, all the cardinals, and this is the buses they take, and all the rules and procedures, because I had never thought of that. Even just the little puff of smoke they do at the end of the day, that electronic thing, it's not even real, This merging of the old and the new. And you see that dynamic playing out with Cardinal Tedesco. The liberal factions of the Cardinals, they don't want him to take power. They think he's going to be regressive. And the stranger who shows up, who they didn't even realize was a Cardinal. Seeing the voting take place. I mean, it was just fun. It was gossipy fun, but also with that note of really try. I think it could have gone into a little more depth into Cardinal Lawrence's feelings about faith, or it could have been a little broader in its humor. I feel like it's playing a very fine line of being like a serious film about faith and also like a satire almost of politics. There were moments where I thought, oh, that could have been a bigger moment, but also moments that were just so funny where they're all arguing in the cafeteria and then you see Cardinal Tedesco pull out his vape and, verges on a little too crazy at certain moments. I don't know. What did you think?
I agree with your point of view, which is rare.
Wow. Shoot, we should have come back with an arguing one.
Yeah, this is the one that we are I understand why you rated it 7 or 8. I think I rated it a little higher to 9 because it's so hard for me to, at least, and if you have other films that are not the typical stereotypical Pope or Cardinal storyline, then let me know. But I haven't seen many that kind of veers outside its stereotypical someone's decapitated underneath, and it's mostly horror films that I see about popes, to be honest with you.
Are you just talking about the Pope's Exorcist? Is that the only one?
Yeah, Cardinals are involved in that, but there's other ones I just can't remember. But I remember last year there was a couple ones that came out. The year before there was ones that
Catholicism is such a huge,
especially when it relates to the Roman Roman Catholic Church.
I feel like Catholics are good with horror for some reason.
I think it's because there are a lot of secrets in history. So, I mean, and this one is about a secret, but like I said, it's not anything, without giving the ending away, since it's non-spoiler section, it's not anything that you think it is. And I actually, in my mind, thought okay, they murdered someone and something happened.
I thought there was a murder. I thought,
but it's something different.
Yeah.
So, I really like the ideas of, seeing how their day-to-day life is. I know obviously this is scripted, but it's the idea of just being it's not that much different than a lot of other places where it's very political, it's very progressive versus non-progressive or someone who's in the middle. It's kind of who's a leader. And this film really with Cardinal Lawrence goes into corruption, and it doesn't go as much as diving about faith, but it does go into what does faith mean and what is goodness and what is the idea of the solution, from different points of view. Especially there are particular events, and one particular event that happens in the film that where you question okay, what does this mean? How am I going to react to it? And it's based on the reaction of it that they kind of come out of it, I guess. And the ending justifies that opinion of people and I guess how they vote. Mm-hmm. Am I being really weird about that?
No.
I'm trying to be as vague as possible without like spoiling it, but I am ready to go into spoiler section.
Let's do spoilers because we can really get into what we really mean by feeling a little unsatisfied in the second half. First half flew by, really fun. Second half, I was a little bit more like, do we need a little more of something here? All right, spoilers for Conclave. 3, 2, 1.
So I will go first if you don't mind.
No.
I really thought that the idea of questioning faith, which is from Cardinal Lawrence, he didn't want to be Pope. He had a really good chance of becoming a Pope that he alluded to he's going to leave soon, you know? So I shouldn't be like people who voted for him. He would say, don't vote for me, vote for this person instead, because he was really hell-bent on this, his ideal about having the right person lead and really changing history where, you know, there's like a guy who has a kid, a legitimate kid, I guess. And he's like, okay, you're out. You should be out in the racing because we can't have that. And, you know, throughout history, there have been popes who've had illegitimate kid and have done things by action that are very different than the words that they say. So this movie is really like trying to rectify those actions, you know, through the next vote. And that's basically a mystery of it, by the way. What is this guy's dark secret? What is this guy's dark secret? And really covering like who's the one who doesn't have dark secrets that can actually lead the church. It's like, okay, that was it. I thought it was going to be like one person has done it so bad, or I thought like someone killed like the previous pope in order to become pope.
I thought it was going to be really
because
huge.
In the beginning they show like the dead body. They kind of like stare at it. So it kind of builds up to that.
Because Cardinal Lawrence is like a detective in the film, you know, he's even going to the crime scene of the dead pope, you know. Yeah. So I thought, I guess.
Well, do you want to reveal the ending?
Yeah, so basically all the other cardinals that are vying for positions, they get caught, and then there is an explosion, which I was like, really? There's an explosion in the Sistine Chapel and some glass falls and there's smoke everywhere. Basically, the new cardinal, what's his name?
Well, he wants to go by Innocent.
The new cardinal who shows up, who nobody knows, he was a cardinal or he was stationed out in Kabul. The previous pope had given him the power. And nobody knew about it until now. So he's a total unknown here, but he gives a speech not about division, but about unity.
Well, it's an opposition to other popes who are agreement of like, we need to do something radical. We need to like fight back. We need to
Cardinal Tedesco is like, we need to like get rid of Islam, basically. And these radicals and everything. And it's the other cardinal who goes, no, we need, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I think because there's so much division that he just stands up like, no one knows who he is. So everyone can just throw their support behind him. And then the final vote is cast and he becomes Pope Innocent, probably the 50 millionth. That's when Cardinal Lawrence gets information that he was
born with uterus and male parts and female parts.
Yeah, he's intersex.
Yeah.
And so he confronts the cardinal about this, and the cardinal is just like, yeah, you know, I was going to get like a hysterectomy and have this procedure, but I decided, why would I want to change God's creation? You know, if God made me like this. Then the movie ends like that, and Cardinal Lawrence doesn't say anything, and I think
he's kind of looking outside the window, kind of like I just think reminiscing or contemplating or kind of like
he's just like
taking it all in.
Just like, damn, that was crazy.
Yeah, so that ending
whole process
was underwhelming for us.
I thought it was underwhelming because in my mind, and also like we're not in the world of Catholicism, but in my mind I'm like, okay, he's intersex, all right. Also, I just found it utterly unbelievable in that their dynamic of what was going on, that they would all throw their support around someone who they were just questioning if he was a legitimate cardinal. They were like, is this forged? Is he a real? I thought, the reveal was going to be that he was a total fraud.
I can justify that because they didn't throw his support. So they voted like multiple times, right? And then each time no one has like the unanimous vote.
Yeah. Well, they're the majority.
Yeah. There already is conflict. And every time they vote for someone, something dark comes out about them. And I think like he really, character wise gets justified to become the Pope Innocent. When he puts his vote on Cardinal Lawrence is like, no, you shouldn't be putting your vote on me or whatever. And then he still is steadfast in his belief and the fact that like, this is what I want. You're who I believe in. So regardless of anything, I have the right to vote and I'm going to vote for who I want.
I wanted Lawrence to be the Pope.
Yeah, and honestly, it builds up to thinking that like Lawrence is going to be the Pope because he gets asked like, what would your Pope name be? And he's like, John. We are building up to that. And then with that speech where they go from like, oh yeah, let's destroy Islam to... And, Lawrence doesn't speak up there at all. Like, he just kind of, like, it seems to be more contemplating what the other popes are saying about, like, getting people, like, being really radical about Islam. Innocent is the only one who speaks up. And I think that really, like, that whole, I'm going to speak up even when everyone disagrees with me is, like, the self-assurance, the really do the right thing no matter what is what everyone needed and is looking for. And that's what really justifies him being voted at the end. Doesn't mean that everyone voted for him, but he had most people who voted for him. And it kind of breaks the cycle of like multiple votes being counted in and then like having to re-vote again. And I don't know if people are just tired. It's like, oh, this guy seems good enough. Everyone we vote for is either out of the running race because they don't want to be a pope like Cardinal Lawrence, even though some people don't believe it, or other people who are just something dark from their closet comes out, Well,
I had a theory that Cardinal Lawrence actually really wanted to be pope and he was hiding it because they were kept questioning. That was a theme in the movie of like, let's be honest, like we all want to be pope. But Cardinal Lawrence is like, no, I definitely don't. And I thought the big reveal would be that at the end of it, he'd finally get all the votes by being like, I don't want to be cardinal or be pope. And then there'd be a big twist reveal that he was behind all of the scandals or something.
Oh, yeah.
But
that would be a different type of ending. But yeah, that would be definitely a mysterious ending, but it would also be a little bit more predictable.
And it'd be hard to pull off because the whole movie, he's trying to discover the scandal. So I don't know. I just thought there was going to be a bigger twist. But that's also based on expectations because I was told there was a twist at all. So maybe if I hadn't known that, it would be a different experience.
I don't know if I was told if there was going to be a twist, but you can definitely tell there's going to be a twist just by the beginning, like 15 minutes. So you, no matter what, you're going to expect like a twist because of the build up, and especially as the movie progresses, Was the ending justified? Sure, but it wasn't as big of a whoa, whodunit type of movie as I thought, and apparently you thought as well that it was going to be.
The score also makes it think like ba 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 ba.
Yeah, it's very dramatic.
Very intense.
Now, can we talk about like the cinematography a little bit? Yeah. So what did you think about cinematography?
Oh, it was beautiful. I thought the whole movie looked great. Classically shot. I mean, I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's like a classic Hollywood 3-star movie or 3 out of 5 star. Like the kind of stuff you'd expect at the Oscars. It's not like an indie movie necessarily. It has big names in it, but for those who like are bothered by it, I think it's because it is more conventional. It's not anything super exciting or special. It's just a pretty well-told story.
Yeah, and I agree. And I understand exactly why it's so conventional. I mean, they're talking about something that is very traditionalist. They're talking about like a life of who would become pope, and it's a big deal. And you wouldn't want it to be other than traditional, or else it wouldn't be true to the storyline. So, if anything, if people are criticizing it for traditional, which I haven't seen the reviews yet, but I think that even justifies movie to me even more, and cinematography more, because that means they're doing so much to have everything stay in character and stay true to the story. So.
Yeah, I think the form and the content are matched very well, and I think you have to look at it for what it's trying to do. And,
yeah, exactly.
And it pulls it off really well. So, I mean, it might not be your cup of tea, but I think that it did what it wanted to do very well. That's our review, and thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I abandoned our child for this, and I am glad.
We lost him. I don't even know where he is. No, you'll be popping in and out of reviews, right?
I'll be popping in and out. It just depends. We're trying to get him to be a little bit, I mean, he's a baby, so he needs
be a little more independent.
I was going to say, we're trying to get him to, be at a phase where he doesn't need me ever. But no, I will watch things that I can watch at home.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to watch everything that's in the theater. Eventually, I will be watching and going to theater, but that's just not right now. So
yeah. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for watching, everyone, and we will all talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.